So, to summarize, we have three scared people losing our words in front of a mic, but nevertheless taking the challenge on.
Are we recording?
Hi, I'm Katerina.
Hi, I'm Rod.
Hi, I'm Kathleen, and together we are the producers of the Equity Lens series of podcasts.
And welcome to our listeners.
I guess we should also say we are part of the National Institute for Health Research and Care Applied Research Collaboration, so ARC for short. And we are in the Northwest Coast area, which covers the region from Cheshire and Merseyside. I'm being told it's Cheshire, not Cheshire, as I used to say.
Correct.
Up to certain parts of Cumbria.
Rod, it's you.
Oh, right. Since the previous versions of ARC, then known as Clark, our work and research has focused mainly on health inequalities, and that has developed into a new health equity mainstreaming strategy.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say that we believe all health and care research and work should be conducted through an equity lens. And actually, this podcast series is kind of a way of supporting that and disseminating that message.
So what we're trying to say is if you're an academic or a researcher or a healthcare or allied healthcare professional, or you work in the voluntary sector, or anyone really with an interest in health and care, in health inequalities, in the Northwest Coast area, or in research, this podcast will be made for you. So guys, who can we expect to hear from?
Well, you'll be hearing from many different people, the usual suspects, academics, researchers, healthcare professionals, members of other 70, I think, participating organisations, and of course, public advisors.
Oh yeah, and as well our community research and engagement network, of course, and that's also called COREN. So who are you guys looking forward to interview?
I'm looking forward to interviewing the clinicians, sorry, we're struggling with the word, academics, people in that area, other professionals, other public advisors who actually are based in the real world, and hopefully will give an insight to how things work in the real world.
How about you, Katerina?
I agree with Rod. I think it's important to hear from people in practice and what matters for them, but I'm also looking forward to connecting with the voluntary sector and community, faith and social enterprise sector, the VCFSC as we say. So organizations for whom research is key but may have less capacity and resources to get involved. What about you, Kathleen?
Well, as a start, I think I'm looking forward to interviewing Professor Mark Gabay, who's the director of the Applied Research Collaboration Northwest Coast, and I really want to hear his vision for the ARC for the future. By the way, to be honest, when I was studying psychology, and I never would have thought that I'd be doing podcasts.
You know what? I don't think I knew your background was in psychology. What did you study?
Well, actually, my PhD was around strength-based interventions for people with substance use and mental health issues.
Right.
So I kind of designed an intervention for them and field tested that. And then after my PhD, I did various research posts at the University of Liverpool. And well, at the moment, I'm working with the ARC, and within that, the MIDAS team, which stands for methodological, well, let's see if I can say it. So methodological innovation, development, adaptation, and support.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know I always struggle with that one. So that's why we just say MIDAS anyway. And so I try and help as much as I can with health and social care professionals to do research. So we help them identify and synthesize research evidence and do workshops and stuff like that. So my job description never actually included designing and running podcasts. So, but I'm glad that I've actually got this opportunity to, develop some new skills and at the same time, hopefully contribute to something worthwhile as well. So what about you, Katerina? What's your background?
Well, I this is so interesting because my background is actually in mental health as well, in psychology. So my PhD was in mental health and the relationship between severe mental health and socioeconomic inequalities. So maybe it should be an asterisk for anyone studying psychology.
Yeah, I know.
Be wary, you might end up doing a podcast in the future.
I know.
Yeah, I'd never thought I'd be doing this, but shout out to Nigel Thompson and Andy Tattersall. They've given us some brilliant advice, and I don't know we can do them right, but hopefully they'll at least be proud of us for daring to try this. But yeah, I started with psychology as well, and now I find myself leading in ARC on health equity mainstreaming. But I guess it's that focus on health inequalities that I moved on to from my PhD. What about you, Rod? Actually, what's your background? I don't think I know that either.
Well, not very interesting. I mean, I was in IT for 20 odd years, number of different jobs after that. Ended up being a full-time carer for a family member. I got involved in Clark, the previous version of ARC, doing that for 5 years. And like yourselves, the last thing I ever expected is to be recording a podcast series. It's new, it's challenging, it's sort of, it's interesting.
The curveballs life throws at you never expect, isn't it?
No.
So I guess in this podcast, one thing I was thinking about late last night, we'll be speaking about health inequalities and all the things we need to improve around health and do better on. And I'm worried some may feel like the narrative is one of a bleak outlook, which is not really true. So I think, going forward, we should be asking about insights and evidence and experiences, but also we should ask about visions and hopes and dreams. So what is your vision about the Equity Lens podcast series?
My vision.
Oh, sorry. You go right first.
My vision, well, it's let's start with a little one, small one. Influence change in the healthcare sector as large as possible, nationally, failing that, influencing local change. Just to improve services locally would be wonderful. It will just make such a difference. So, that's my vision.
Well, I think it's always been my kind of ambition, even when I was doing my PhD and I was working with clients at the Drug and Alcohol Services, is to kind of bridge that practice and research. And in order to do that, what we need to do is really talk to everybody, talk to public advisors, talk to clinicians and healthcare professionals and the third sector organizations. So I think this podcast series, although it's really out of my comfort zone, is kind of a way to make that happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I don't know. We can reach national policy changes with just a podcast.
Why not? Aim high. Aim high.
No, definitely, Rod. Keep the ambitions high up.
I will.
Keep pushing us for it. But I think it'd be helpful to use it. I was thinking about it as a way to give insight into practical aspects of how this equity lens gets applied, and how do we do this work and research, or how do public advisors actually get involved. So things that don't necessarily feature in those academic papers we tend to put out, but are the active ingredients of bringing about the change we want to see. So a bit of a helpful insight for those doing the do.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a bit about us.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Are we done?
Yeah, I think so. Just press that button and finish it. Are we ready to dive into the first episode then?
Yeah, we absolutely need to get this one right first, though.
Oh, no.
Right, so I'll hit stop and re-record again. Let's not forget, next take, we should also mention our hashtag implement equity so that our listeners know how to contact us if they have like queries or suggestions about what they want to hear.
Yeah, good idea.
Maybe they can just send us photos of their pets to boost our morale, since they can't send us chocolate.
Oh yeah, please, the second.
Still recording.
That's right. You make sure you save this one.